This is Theodore at Lies of the Devil. Go to liesofthedevil.com. We're at the front line in spiritual warfare. We've given out 200 DVDs, both in orders and evangelizing in Seattle and places in Everett, Washington in the past week. It's just been phenomenal. And so enlist as a soldier in Jesus Christ, a fellow soldier with us, and spreading the gospel. We're in a spiritual warfare, people. So you can do that and sign up for the newsletter online. But this Bible study, I'm going to talk about Revelation, the beast in Revelation, the beast in Revelation 13:2. And I've never been concrete about what's going on in Daniel and the prophecies that are ahead, because I believe that God can push back tribulation depending on what his children do. And that, yeah, it'll be fulfilled, but really we have the free will to push back tribulation if God allows it. And I think that he can take things, and it's still going to be the same storyline, but based on current events, can weave in and out of that storyline. But from what I've been seeing and how the world is just, the moral degradation is just getting more and more, I'm really starting to see, God's allowing me to see what that beast is starting to look like. Now, we have the KJV. It's the closest to the Greek text. It actually used a lot of the Geneva and Tyndale Bible as a reference to make sure it's going along the right timeline, to make sure they're getting the right word. But it's of God. But if you read the NIV and stuff like that, no problem. But at some point, you'll want to get a KJV because there are things missing in that NIV. You could be very, very, very shocked. There's lots of information about that out there on the internet. But so who wrote Revelation? Well, John, who was an apostle. Okay, John, if you go into the Bible, he wrote the Gospel of John and the 3 epistles of John. But he just was like, he was a very hardcore guy. I mean, he spoke the truth about God. He didn't care. They tried to kill him. You know what I mean? They did all kinds of stuff, beat him, you name it. And they couldn't shut the guy up. And so they took him. The Roman government took him to the island of Patmos. And Patmos, is it Patmos or Patmos? Patmos. And to isolate him. Well, he wrote the book of Revelation. Jesus Christ showed up and told him, Revelation is an amazing book. It's about God's restoration of his people and what he's going to do. It's really awesome. So anyway, Jesus Christ shows up, gives John Revelation, and anyway, we're just going to read off Revelation 13:2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. I'm going to read, and then I'm going to break down what the beast is, who the leopard is, who the bear is, and the dragon. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. So the beast is going to be the Antichrist, okay? It's going to be Satan, the devil, okay? Getting ready to wage war against God, okay? But the beast here, he's like unto a leopard, and a leopard is a very much a pagan, here we go, is very much a symbolic in the Egyptian pagan religion, where the pharaohs were worshipped as gods, right? They actually wore leopard skins. See this picture right here? That's part of it, okay? And right here, leopard skins, this hieroglyphic, they were wearing leopard skins to the left and to the right here. And to the left here, you can't really see it, but that's, And the reason why these priests wore leopard skins is because they're arrayed in golden ornaments and whatnot, like Pharaoh used, and the leopard skin. The leopard was considered a sacred animal, a personification of the ancient sky goddess Mafdet. Now, the ancient sky goddess Mafdet is essentially like the queen of heaven. Okay, the queen of like peace and what, but the queen of heaven. And you take that and you go back in time to Semiramis and Nimrod at the Tower of Babel, and Semiramis was considered the queen of heaven. Okay, and the Virgin Mary at the Vatican resembles this queen of heaven. this idol that they're worshiping in Roman Catholicism. Here's Ishtar. It's a resemblance of Semiramis, the Queen of Heaven. Here we go, the Virgin Mary. And you go to all the Vatican and you'll see they worship Mary more than Christ. And they got, here we go. Here's the Pope worshiping the Virgin Mary. So you have the leopard skin. It's a personification of the heaven goddess Semiramis and the Virgin Mary, the Vatican. So you look at that, okay, and then you also go, okay, have you seen a leopard fight? Have you seen it go after its prey? It is fast and swift, and it's fast and swift. And so recently, the Vatican and Russia have teamed up. The actual Pope Francis, who's a Jesuit, he went to Russia and basically apologized for killing tons of Christians. Okay, so you go to liesofthedevil.com, Russia and Vatican push for New World Order. Just hit the search bar and hit Russia. You'll find it. Or you can go look at this yourself. But Pope Francis apologized for killing a bunch of Christians. Okay, and the Russian Orthodox Church, which is just it's basically the Roman Catholic system in Russia. Their doctrine and their heretical belief system aligns right with them. And so the Pope goes and he apologizes for killing a bunch of Christians, the Presbyterians, the Protestants, and stuff like that. And he goes there to apologize so he can take the Russian Orthodox Church, bring it into his own, build up his congregation. And as he's doing that, he's making an allegiance with Russia, the bear, okay, and we're going to get into what that personifies, what that personification is, that symbolism and pagan rituals and stuff like that. And basically, the Vatican, when they want to make a political decision, they have like a chessboard out there. They will, if they see who's playing chess right, the right way, or who's winning, they will clench on to whatever side's winning, and they will make sure that they move the chesses along to try to take down the king, okay? They start wars all over the place. So right here, and the dragon was, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, the Vatican, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, Russia. And Venezuela, the president in Venezuela came out and said, Russia, please, Russia and the Vatican, please save us from the U.S. The U.S. might come after us because he was, he's a dictator and he was suppressing the people. This isn't too long ago. Look this up. And Donald Trump said, listen, straighten up or we're going to come after you. And so he called out to Russia and the Vatican to help him. And Russia is all about manipulating the U.S. They hate the U.S., okay? They've been doing it for a long time. And basically, if people are despot leaders in countries or they're communists, Vladimir Putin will not reprimand them for what they're doing to the people, and he'll just say, oh, well, we're behind you and we'll protect you because you have a country and you're sovereign and you should be able to have your own freedoms. All the meanwhile, they're sitting there going, yeah, we're, whatever communists are out there that are willing to fight the U.S., we want them on our side. Okay, that's what Russia's essentially doing. So let's look at the bear, okay? This is from Russiapedia out of RT, and people think RT gives them the truth. Yeah, it does. It's like Alex Jones, but RT is very dangerous, right? Okay, it's a propaganda arm of the Kremlin, of the the communists, basically, and it's all about trying to make the U.S. look bad no matter what. Here we go. But Russians' association with the bear as a symbol and animal is far more complex. It is a national symbol, a marketing tool, a wonder of nature, unspoken fear, and prize for hunters, to name a few. To start with, Russia is thought to have the world's largest bear population at around 120,000. They are brown bears, cousins of the grizzlies in North America. They eat salmon in the rivers of the Far East, blah, 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 blah. In the story of Morozko, the hero, trying brashly to impress the girl he wants to marry, tries to kill a mother bear and her cubs, a forest spirit. Father Mushroom is so incensed by his brazen attack, he turns the hero's head into a bear head, which makes him terrifying to everyone, so he is ostracized. So that's their mythology, right? That's their mythology behind the bear. And so anyway, they've latched onto it. Now, I want to show you this. Look to the right. Stalin, okay? I can't remember who this guy's name is. And then you have Nietzsche. Nietzsche was a hardcore atheist. Okay, this is what Russia produces. This is the type of people Russia produces. So, saying all of that, the shamans, the Indian shamans, they love the bear. And the bear has a lot of human characteristics, like kind of like when people look at an ape, they go, oh, he's moving like a human. Well, the bear is very much the same thing. It sits down. The way it does everything, I mean, it looks like a human. If you watch it sit down, it uses its hands to start eating its food and stuff like that. And it's just like, whoa, you know what I mean? It looks like a big, hairy human or whatever people would think. So, and then not to mention, talking about Venezuela using Russia for troops on the ground, just like in the Ukraine, and even right now as North Korea is ramping up their political rhetoric to nuke us, Russia is saying, we're behind you. If the U.S. doesn't stand down from bringing fire and fury, like President Trump said, on North Korea, we will stand with North Korea and we will go to war. Okay, so Russia is, it's a military force. It's the Vatican's military force. So when it says, I saw like unto a leopard and his feet were as the feet of a bear, that is the Vatican and the bear. The Vatican using Russia as troops on the ground, boots on the ground. That's not even to mention, okay, that Russia recently came out and said no evangelism. Okay, so all the Christians that are doing evangelism in Russia, you have to be associated with a state church, or you have to shut up. You'll be thrown into prison. Okay, read this article. My wife found this. At Christian Post, Russia law bans evangelisms on street and online. There you go. I misspelled. I got to put a D at the end of that. But there you go. You got the state-sponsored church, which is the propaganda arm of the Kremlin, of the communists, and people are eating it up, thinking that Russia's big-time Christian. No. They're not Christian. They're not Christian at all. So, so go back to Revelations 13:2, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Okay, well, it's like the fake version of Christianity, the lion, right? The Lion of Judah. So you have this Vladimir Putin and the Vatican speaking out about, oh, we love Christianity, we're going to protect you guys, while they're banning it at the same time. It's like the mouth of a lion. It's the fake mouth of Christ. It's the fake mouth of Christianity, the believers in Christ that know the truth, okay? It's a false Christianity. It's a false peace, okay? And then it says right here, the dragon gave him his power and seat and great authority. That's Satan in the background, the spirit of Satan, using the beast and his little system to usurp power and to create a new world order. And I'm actually thinking that this is a twofold thing. The dragon could definitely be China, because China, they're starting to develop semiconductors now that are very, very good. And it's like semiconductors are used for computing power and, to create computer chips and stuff like that. And China, they treat their people so awful. I'm not even going to get into that. I mean, you just look how bad China treats its people. It's incredibly satanic. They kill babies all the time, more than the U.S., which is sad. And I mean, we should be banning abortion here, but they are creating semiconductors that are equal to the power that the U.S. and Intel in the U.S. and AMD produce. So when it says dragon, it's like a twofold thing. Like China is a dragon, and they're giving the computing power to this false, this new world order, essentially. But it's also the dragon, Satan in the background, using that beast system. Anyway, I'll have to break that down and be more, I'll break that down even more when I have time. But so after saying that, I want to go to Ephesians 2:2. Where in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in children of disobedience. That verse is talking about, that verse links up directly with Semiramis and the Queen of Heaven. See, Satan in pagan religions, he's male and female. Satan wants people to believe that he wants to be able, he doesn't care what gender you look at him as. He wants to morph himself into whatever belief system you will have him as. And so right here, the prince of the air, the queen of heaven, the prince of the air. And that's not including technology like Wi-Fi systems. You can't see the Wi-Fi that's surrounding you. You can't see those microwaves. You can't see radio frequencies. So the prince of the air, Wi-Fi systems, radio, all of that stuff that you can't see, he's the prince of it. He uses it all for his means, you know. Oh, and then I want to get into this is interesting, okay? Daniel 7. Where can I find it? Daniel 7:5. Okay. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and it said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. The bear is Russia, and the 3 ribs in its teeth. What does that symbolize? What is that? What is God saying there? Okay. Okay. The Trinity, the false Trinity. Remember I told you the fake lion, the false Trinity, and mocking man. You know, because what happened, the rib was taken out of Adam to make Eve, okay? So it all links together when you really look at it. So it's like it's making fun of man, it's making fun of Trinity, and it's like we're using female. We're using the female, you know what I mean, as much as we can, because Eve was the one that was beguiled by Satan. That's not to say that women aren't smart or anything like that. That's just what's written down in the Bible. That's what happened. And, you know, my wife straightens me out a lot of times. She's a lot smarter than me in a lot of different areas, you know what I mean? And so that's not what I'm trying to say here. But what I'm saying is that Satan is very good at fooling women, manipulating them. And so take that on the context, excuse me. Now, here we go. This is the kicker. This is where it all comes down to where it's like, thank you, God, for this. Here we go. Anyway, Proverbs 28:15 talks about the roaring of the bear devouring the poor and the wicked, the poor. But I'm not going to get into that. I'll have to make a big documentary on this. But here we go. 1 Samuel 17:34. Am I there? 1 Samuel 17:34. This is where it gets really cool. You know, David killed a bear and a lion. Remember that? He was the protector, the shepherd of, well, just read this. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. And there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. So the real believers in Jesus Christ understand the wickedness of the fake lion, okay? So that's already slew. I mean, God's going to slay all this, right? I mean, he is the descendant of David. He's going to come back and he's going to slay it. He's going to be like, no, you're not having this. You know what I mean? You're not going to get away with this stuff. Anyway, that's just a really cool verse to just kind of say, hey, listen, all this stuff that's going on, relax. David slew the lion and the bear, and the descendant of David, Jesus Christ, the Son of Man, God himself is going to come back and slew the bear and the lion, okay, and the dragon, okay, and that includes the leopard. So anyway, God bless. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. John 8:32, ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. You heard it here first, not to be prideful or anything, but I'm telling you, a lot of people are mixing Revelation up, and they're saying all kinds of things that, yeah, it sounds great, it sounds entertaining and whatnot, but the leopard is the Vatican, Russia is the bear, and the leopard, it has the feet of a bear, okay? So take that into consideration. That's, you know, pay attention to the Vatican and Russia. I mean, Russia's already saying, we're going to help you guys fight terrorism. All the meanwhile, they're helping to protect terrorists, okay? Now, I'm not going to get into the whole debate of the U.S. funding terrorism, and they're the ones that started Al-Qaeda because they, you know, it was a tool to terrorize the Russians, okay? I'm not going to get into all of that debate, okay? I'm just focusing on this one idea, this one image, this one piece of truth, this revelation, this image that God has put in my heart, okay? And I'm trying to explain it the best I can, but you all need to just put your eyes on the Vatican and Russia. That's where the true danger is going to come in.